Hi, I'm Mike Cherniffsky, and you are listening to This Podcast is Uncalled For. Alright, everybody, welcome to another episode of the podcast. And, today you're getting angry, Mike. Today. This is in response to the ballot measure that, as of this recording, failed a week ago to correct a 50-year-old wrong. Okay? I'm, of course, talking about the stadium votes in Jackson County. And before I read this article on what should happen next, to the people who voted no on this, it depends on how and why you voted no. If you voted no because you don't want to extend an already existing sales tax and you don't feel that government money should go to billionaires, okay, I get it. Unfortunately, that's the way it is in the States, sports scene. It's one of the more despicable aspects of it, I think. And I get it from that standpoint. If you think that putting a ballpark in an underutilized portion of a very large arts district. Okay, I get it if you disagree with displacing small business. My understanding is they were going to help those people anyway. But if that's that's a valid argument. But to say that sports and arts don't mix, hello. This podcast is a good example of sports and arts finding a way to coexist. Okay? The two can coexist. Putting a ballpark in the middle of an arts district, again, on a 6-block plot of land where not much arts activity is taking place, or any activity at all, well, I think you kind of misunderstand the scope and really the location of what all is actually taking place. All right, because most of the arts activity that takes place in that district happens south and west of that specific site. If your complaint is about parking, the amount of stupid in you is just so fucking vast. I can't. I just can't. You know, during the public meetings that this team, which by the way, those public meetings happened over a year ago. Okay? So you had over a year to learn about this, to make your voices heard, and you probably did nothing. All right, you probably didn't even go to these meetings. So, but at these meetings, they said, you know, there's more than enough parking downtown. Okay, so you could easily park and walk to the ballpark. If you live downtown, you don't even have to drive. You just walk. All right. The site in question was 2 fucking blocks from a streetcar stop. And that streetcar is being extended as we speak. It's going to be done next year. You know? So you could park on the plaza. Take a streetcar up Main Street, up to that stop, get off, and just walk the 2 blocks, and then repeat the same trip. And it's not just a ballpark that would have gone up, it's also a ballpark district, restaurants and bars and stuff like that. Then after the game, we could just stop at one of them, chill out for a bit, and if you're seriously concerned about traffic, chill out for a bit and wait for traffic to die down. But no, you chose to ignore it. If you voted against it because you think there's nothing wrong with Kaufman, then you are really fucking stupid. I can't help you. Go to hell. Alright. That anger out of the way. We are going to now turn our attention to a opinion piece written by Dave Helling, Kansas Star. Full disclosure, I've worked indirectly with Dave during my time at intern at KCPT, and I did actually meet him once while I was studying at JUCO. Fellow West grad, by the way. So this is the article. The title is "Here's How the Royals and Chiefs Can Get It Right on the Next Stadium Subsidies Vote." Dated April 7, 2024. The votes are in and have been counted. All sides have retreated to their corners, some bitter, others ecstatic. The stadium's question, which has sucked the air from the community for months, has been settled, at least for now. For some, the issue has been settled forever. Probably 40% of local voters oppose any taxpayer subsidies for sports facilities for any reason at any time. It's a legitimate and defensible argument. This column isn't for them. Nothing I can say or anyone else can say will convince some people, that sports teams are community assets and deserve some sort of community support. They will always vote no. Fine. And that's a good point. Aside from a handful of companies, like the company I work for, you're probably not going to have the name of the city attached to it. All right. And furthermore, if you're a sports fan, you open the sports page every single day during any given season. You're going to see the names of cities. Those teams are more than just sports teams or billionaires' toys, however you want. But they are indeed community assets, and that shows every single time you open a sports page. Okay. Because your name is out there. So, others, though, may still be willing to consider alternatives that are more carefully tailored to meet the community's interests, which include a low tax burden, more widely shared, and benefits for everyone, not just sports fans. Perhaps both teams are still willing to listen. I think such a path is still available, but it will take an effort by all sides to think more broadly about how this issue might be addressed, and an acceptance of new paradigms for old problems. Here's an outline. Excuse me. As always, details matter. Statutes may have to change, mechanisms addressed. But in broad strokes, there are answers for the clubs and the politicians. So let's start with the Royals and downtown baseball. Step 1. End the relationship with Jackson County and negotiate directly with the city. Alright. The Royals have blamed Jackson County Executive Frank White's intransigence for the failure to conclude stadium negotiations more quickly and openly. The team may or may not be right, but the workaround is clear. Stop negotiating with White or the county and open talks with City Hall. Pause. So this is the same Frank White whose number 20 is retired with the Royals. Yep, a legend with the team. Helped them win a World Series. All right. That he opposed this tax and I think actively worked against it is pretty telling. If I were Petty and in John Sherman's position, I would unretire number 20 right away. But that's just me. That's just my thinking. Contrast that with Mayor Lucas. Okay, Mayor Lucas, I will give you a little bit of blame for pushing the Star Building on everyone. Not even 2 months before the vote. Even though we heard this whole time it's either going to be East Village or North KC. Again, I think East Village is the better site because there's fucking nothing there. And I do put a little blame on you for pushing for that East Crossroads site. But it sounds like you're willing to work with the teams here. So I give you applause for that, sir. All right. The team's relationship with the county is an accident of history and not fundamentally required. Kansas City, on the other hand, has a direct interest in its downtown and how a stadium might work in its center. A citywide 3.16 sales tax for 40 years will likely raise half of the funds for a $1 billion stadium. As a reminder, the Royals did say their project would be about $2 billion, over half of which they would finance themselves, and roughly about 50-50 ballpark and the surrounding ballpark district. All right, the Royals should promise to match that spending dollar for dollar. State contributions can be counted, and special concession sales taxes can be collected. Northlanders, who were excluded from the first vote, but now would have to be included in this vote if it is a citywide thing. Northlanders may complain, but a downtown stadium would be more convenient for them, and a bond issue may include spending for Northland sports amenities as well. Current leases could be a sticking point. In a worst-case scenario, the Royals might have to delay and move to downtown until 2031. That said, it takes years to get a stadium built. Just like it takes years to get a streetcar line put in. All right. Years of planning and as well as the actual construction. So there's that. Next point. Let's the people pick the site. I don't know if this is a good idea, but I will go ahead and read this again. The Royals want a downtown ballpark. They bobbled the exact location, angering business owners and neighborhood leaders. Why should the team pick the site? Let City Hall appoint a group to study access, land availability, cost, parking, disruption, and other issues. Hold public meetings. Then let the public, through their elected representatives, choose the precise downtown location. Sites could include East Village, 18th and Vine, the West Side near the Lowe's Hotel, or somewhere else. The city could select a location by the end of 2024. It should include a broad public community benefits agreement. Again, if you let the people decide, some idiots are going to say, "Oh, there's nothing wrong with Kaufman. Why can't we keep it there?" Aside from it's 50 years old, the location sucks. It's extremely difficult to get in and out of. If you're telling me otherwise, then you're fucking lying, or you haven't been there in a while. And there's no restaurants within reasonable walking distance. Alright? Gotta walk around a sea of parking lots and cross 6 lanes of traffic to get to a fucking Taco Bell? No, not an option. Again, of these sites that were listed, okay, East Village makes the most sense because there's nothing there. Alright. 18th of Vine, I disagree with. Yes, there's a baseball development in that district, but it's like downtown adjacent. I struggle to even call that downtown proper. West side near the Lowe's. What site is he referring to? Because that's like right across the street from Bartle Hall. And still a very, very new space. I have yet to see it myself. But I digress. Okay, next up. Make the city a partner in the team's success. David Glass. And timeout. If you're going to blame anyone for the current problems, don't necessarily blame Sherman. All right, he's only owns the team not very long, as opposed to Jack Off, who had been owning the team for a while, Mr. Glass. So, first of all, Walmart exec. That should tell you a lot. And was a cheapo who, when this came up 20 years ago, chose to do nothing to address it. Just throw more money into the bullet wound that is Kaufman, and do nothing to address the actual team's needs. Again, baseball needs to be downtown. And this is during a time that you hear this, I hate the words, but this small market bullshit where teams in smaller communities could not compete with the Yankees and the Dodgers and all that. Well, we know it's bullshit now, but no one bought into more than David fucking Glass. The fact that they got to 2 World Series in 14 and 15 is pure luck. Alright? Just pure fucking luck. Alright, because since 85, aside from those 2 years, that team has been garbage, and a lot of the blame has to be on Glass. Alright? So anyway, he purchased the Royals for $96 million in 2000. 20 years later, so we're going to this 2024, so Sherman hasn't owned the team all that long. And he sold it for about $1 billion. Even accounting for operating losses, that's a pretty good profit. Right? So let John Sherman share that money. He's already sharing ownership stakes with people, including one Patrick Mahomes. So that's a good start. I would probably go as far as to suggest, you set up a community trust and put, kind of like what they did with Arsenal pre-Kroenke. I digress. I digress. The Royals should agree to split the net profits for any future sale minus operating losses with the city. The city could use that money to pay off stadium bonds early, and for any important public purpose like transportation, streetcar, health, education, or anything else. And it could be hundreds of millions of dollars for public use. It would establish a true partnership between the city and the community and the team. And there's a precedent. Ewing Kauffman gave his sale profits to charity. Okay. So here we have some solutions to get baseball downtown where it fucking belongs. And where it should have been 20 years ago, it should have been 50 years ago. Alright? I am sick and tired of people making excuses for a mistake that city planners made in the 60s, early 70s. Okay? I'm sick of it. Let's get that team downtown. And again, I challenge you to name a single team that doesn't have some sort of either downtown arrangement or a ballpark village arrangement that is successful. Do you want to be Oakland? I guess is the question I'm asking now, because the A's, yes, ironically the same A's that left KC and made the Royals possible, they tried to do the actually impossible and try to do this whole thing in Oakland. Good luck doing this anywhere in California, by the way. And couldn't get it done, so they're following the Raiders to Vegas. So Oakland, California went from, how far do we want to go back? Because I could go back to when they had the California Golden Seals, who of course don't exist anymore. And discounting the fact that they are part of the Bay Area, Oakland, California went from hosting 3 major sports teams to, as of 2025, none. All right, the Raiders are in Vegas now. Okay, they just played the Super Bowl at their new stadium, which again should have been built in Carson, California, but I digress. A's, same thing. They're on their way to Vegas. They still have to build the stadium. And just this week, they announced they are so done with the Coliseum. They're so done with Oakland. They're going to play the next few years in Sacramento, which, by the way, is another city that stole a team from us. And you have the NBA Warriors, who are still in the Bay Area, but they're actually in San Francisco now. So yeah, do you want to be Oakland? That is the question I ask for everyone metro-wide. All right. And I also remind Mr. Helling that they did have plans for a ballpark village in North KC as a backup. And I remind my listeners, North KC is different from Kansas City proper. It is its own little suburb right there on the Missouri, just across the river from downtown, but completely enclaved by KC North. So that's a possibility, and you definitely don't have to deal with Jackson County at that point. That's Clay County you're talking about. And it is a distinct possibility. So let's hope let's exhaust all of our possibilities around downtown first before we start thinking about North KC. And once again, staying where they are, not an option. If you still think it's an option, turn this podcast off right now. All right, now on to the football team, which, yes, once again, changed the name. They're what they need to do, and this is a good time to slam Clark Hunt a little bit, because there was a graphic that came up showing the top 10 owners in terms of wealth in the NFL. The Hunt family ranks number 2. About 24 billion. The only wealthier owner is within the AFC West. That would be the Walton family, owning the Denver Broncos. And they put plans to, we're just going to put a facelift on Arrowhead, and it'll only cost $800 million, and we're only going to throw in $300 million. Cheap ass. Back to the article. So, one, they can negotiate with Jackson County. White has already proposed a Chiefs-only election, a separate Jackson County 316 cent sales tax, which cut the levy in half in the eastern part of the county. Combining that with the city's own 316 sales tax would make for a 3/8 cent rate inside the shared Jackson County Kansas City limits, but the city would remain the fiscal home for both teams. The Chiefs could be much more clear about their Arrowhead's plans and explain what it wants to do after its lease is up in 25 years. Sharing revenue after a sale is less possible here. The Hunts will likely never sell the team. Explore the Kansas option. Missouri fans may not want to hear this, but a Kansas location would likely be as convenient as the Truman Sports Complex, i.e., less of a problem for football than it is for baseball. That's another bitch I'm hearing about. Baseball, what about the tailgating? Tailgating is not really part of baseball culture. It is a big part of football culture, but it's really not a thing in baseball, so drop it. Alright. It would also indirectly establish a true bi-state approach to stadium construction maintenance, which the community desperately needs. Yeah, no shit. I would strongly advise everyone to revisit my episode, Free State of Kansas City. I think we need to get rid of this bi-state bullshit and have the entire metro, all 7 more generously counties just break off from Kansas and Missouri and form their own separate state. I think that would solve a lot of the issues we have around here. I digress. Let's continue. So local tax support may be required, and that's it. A rough framework to keep both clubs here with lower and broader tax support and widely spread community benefits. In a perfect world, these options would have been considered in public 5 years ago, but the world isn't perfect, and they were not. There is still time. Once everyone gets a chance to relax and think, it's time to go to work again. And the Kansas site there, that's often talked about, is around the Legends and Village West, where you already have a minor league ballpark. You have Sporting is out there. You do have shops and restaurants in the form of the Legends and some other development around there. You have a racetrack. You have a casino. You do have some office space. Thank you, Cerner, for that. The American Royal is going to be moving out there. The Sanson Amphitheater is not too far away. You have the Ren Fair not too far away. either. For football, I'm going to stress again, for football, there's still plenty of space that you can build a new NFL stadium out there. And that would leave Missouri with 0 NFL teams within its borders. Fuck you, Stan Kroenke, for that. But let's say all this goes south, and that's still a very real possibility. I think that is the most likely situation. People online are saying, well, just move the Chiefs to St. Louis. The Chiefs would not be welcome in St. Louis. I'm going to tell you that right now because of Clark Hunt's role in Kroenke's lies. And the fact that he was the only owner on the LA committee that voted against St. Louis. All right, so that team would not be welcome there. And seriously, I would ask the Hunts to consider bringing in a minority owner at some point, because they demonstrated by just putting $300 million into their plans, $300 million as opposed to over $1 billion. I must be missing something here, but maybe the Hunts are not as liquid as we would like to think. I don't know, but maybe a minority order would be a good idea. I believe you just gained a fan who's dating one of your players who's worth over $1 billion. Maybe get Taylor to sign on as a part owner or something. Yeah, you're not in so much confidence in your ability to run the team much longer. All right. So, I leave you with this question. Do you want to be Oakland and just lose all your teams and be relegated to a second tier of relevance in our society? Do you want to be Omaha? Omaha, their only soiree into big time pro sports, sharing an NBA team with us. Otherwise, all minor league. In fact, the Royals minor league has always been in Omaha. Do we want to become Omaha and just be home to just nothing but minor league sports? If the UFL does well and they're going to be looking to expand, does that mean we get a team? No, stuff to think about. And that is not a knock at the UFL. I am a UFL fan. I'm, of course, a Bellhawks fan for the exact same reason that everyone else is a Bellhawk fan, because it is a protest of what the NFL did to us in St. Louis. Again, different situation because that involved fraud and lies and everything. This one just involves a cheapskate owner. So think about it. Do we want to stay relevant as a city on the national stage? Because the second we lose those teams, that relevance is gone. I guarantee it. So, rant over. This podcast is uncalled for. It is hosted, produced, and edited by myself, Mike Chernevsky. Our opening music is Iron Bacon by Kevin MacLeod at Incompetech.com, licensed under Creative Commons by Attribution 4.0 license. And our outro music is on the subject of driving and transportation and all that. Severe Tire Damage by Kevin MacLeod at Incompetech.com, licensed under Creative Commons by Attribution 4.0 license.
If you are in the United States or Canada, you can call us at 816-832-5160. Leave your message or question for us, and if we like it, we will play it on the podcast. Please support the podcast and purchase our exclusive Uncalled For merchandise. T-shirts, sweatshirts, mugs, stickers, and so much more. Go to www.cafepress.com/uncalledforpod. Thank you so much for listening. We will see you next time.